Hello, my lovely entities of chaos. I am on my way to the chiropractor. Don't judge. Look, I'm gonna just, we're putting this out on the table and then we're gonna leave it alone and then it's just gonna sit there. I believe, and this is my personal opinion, that 99% of chiropractors are shysters. I think they are snake oil salesmen. I think they're dangerous in a lot of ways. And I think they're a disgrace to the profession. They can't cure diseases. And if you try to go to a chiropractor, they can be life-changing. I'm not going to lie. They can absolutely be life-changing. However, if you go to a chiropractor and they try to give you an adjustment without ever taking any x-rays, run. Do not go to this person. They don't know what they're doing. I go to a phenomenal chiropractor. He actually was the one to recommend the back surgeon to my mom. She needed back surgery. And crazy thought, he was like, oh, you need back surgery. I can't fix this. You have spinal stenosis. Here are exercises to do at home to relieve some of the pressure. Here are some stretches. Don't ever do these positions because this will make your pain worse. However, chiropractic is not going to help you. You need spinal surgery. My chiropractor has seen the befores and after of this spinal surgeon and, trusts him. And he was in network. He was actually at our preferred hospital, blah, 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 blah. Phenomenal surgeon. My mom came out of that great. Made a huge difference in her quality of life. And that is the kind of chiropractor you want. One who doesn't think you can magically fix everything with a pop of the spine. Anyway, I'm going to see my chiropractor because my back is kind of all jacked up. And I haven't been in maybe 2 months, I think. So I am on my way down to Dearborn, which is where he is. And I'm about to merge, so just give me a second. I don't want to die. Okay, we've successfully not died. How's life? How's life for you guys? Tell me down in the comments, how are things going? I know that 2025 is only 2.5 months in, and it's a lot. It's a lot for so many people. How are you doing? Put it down in the comments. Let's all support each other, okay? For me, it's going great, but it's getting scary. I'm not talking about any of the other stuff. My part-time job is winding down, so I'm getting 2 to 3 hours a day now, and that will go down even further, I believe, which is nerve-wracking because I don't want to have to go back to DoorDash. Really don't want to have to go back to DoorDash. The miles on the car, the near collisions from just, you're just out constantly, and there are a bunch of other crazy drivers on the road. And if I made $500 a week, I'd probably spend $200 in gas. It's crazy. And it took forever. I would have to work probably 5 hours a day, but it would be broken up between lunchtime. No, it was more than 5 hours a day. Anyway, I just don't want to do it. But this gives me time to now refocus myself on my voiceover career because, during the busy season, it was long days, and I don't know if I have chronic fatigue syndrome. I don't know if I have an infection. I don't know if I'm just the worst built human that there is, but I'm just, lately especially, I've just been constantly exhausted. I've been napping. I don't nap. I've been napping lately. It's weird. I don't know. But I need to get focused on my voiceover career, and I need the time to do it, especially during the morning hours of the day. When I say morning, I mean 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Because then I get exhausted again, and I don't wake up until 10. So I'm excited that I don't have to be working at my part-time job as much, so I can focus on my voiceover. What am I focusing on? I am going to be focusing on auditioning more. I'm dropping 1 or 2 of my pay-to-play sites that I've been on because I've just had no success with them, and I am really unhappy the more I learn of their complete lack of AI protections, and more than that, they're building their own AI based on the voice actors who use their platform. Disgusting. What else? So what I need to be doing is I'm going to be picking up or increasing some of my memberships at a couple other pay-to-play sites, but just diving in, doing more auditioning. I'm going to be getting back to my coaching with the amazing Tim Powers. I'm so excited. I actually see Tim once a week for his improv classes, which have changed my life, and if I talk about it, I will cry, so I'm not going to talk about it. But yeah, he's phenomenal, and I can't wait to actually get back to my one-on-one coaching with him. I'm so excited. And then on top of that, I am working on my marketing. I have been following very closely Mark Scott, his VOpreneur marketing instructions. I'm so grateful to people like him in the VO community who share their knowledge so readily. And yes, you know, a lot of them have paid courses or direct coaching plans that you can get into. But besides that, so many of them still share so much information for free, or if you just contact them, they're so generous with their time and their knowledge. I found that to be true of so many in the voiceover community. So I am following a lot of the Mark Scott stuff for marketing, and that's what I really need to do. I need to actually be sitting down, finding my leads of who needs voiceover, what type of voiceover can I provide that nobody else can provide. I need to be emailing cold emails, you know, reaching out to people to be like, hey, you guys probably need voiceover. I do voiceover. I think we would work well together because blah, blah, blah. And I'm probably going to try to start, I should be starting locally, but I think I'm going to kind of mix it up and maybe do like half local and half wherever. But I just need to get on it. I need to be doing it because I'm not going to get any work if nobody knows I exist. You know what I mean? And I also have a few coaching sessions with Mark Scott that I can schedule to just have one-on-one time with him, which is amazing. I'm so excited about that. But okay, so are you guys like this? I'm one of those, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So there's two kinds of people who do that. They either have the cake and just sit there and admire it, but they never eat it because if they eat it, then it's gone. Or there's the eat it too people who just eat the cake, enjoy the cake, and then maybe they're a little sad the next day when they're like, I wish I still had cake. But, you know, they've enjoyed the cake. I'm the first person. I am like, but if I eat the cake, then I won't have any cake. But why would I not want to have any cake? Like, I need the perfect circumstances to enjoy the cake to its fullest. Otherwise, I'm not maximizing my cake enjoyment. I'm that person. Which is why I've not gone through all of my coaching with Tim Powers. That's why I've not yet scheduled my coaching with Mark Scott. Because I'm like, I'm not in the perfect position to get the most out of it. So anyway, I think it's a fear thing. I think it's an anxiety thing. Which should surprise no one. But yeah, that's my goal. So my slow season, God, I have a lot of sibilants. Do you guys hear that? That like high-pitched whistle on S's? Driving me crazy. I have a slow season.
Say no.
At work from kind of April. Really, it's definitely started now. Like, it's slowing down. I think there will be a little bit of a pickup sometime in April, but not much. So April, May, June, and then in July we're going to start doing training, scheduled trainings. And I'll be checking into work here and there, like checking emails, seeing if clients need any help with anything, blah, blah, blah. They do have some projects, but they don't know how many people are going to volunteer to do projects over the summer, yada, yada, yada. I did throw my hat in the ring. You know, I would not mind some guaranteed hours of some substance to keep me going. But I have known that this was going to happen, so I've been prepping. My car insurance is paid every 6 months, and it is ungodly expensive because I live in Michigan, and our car insurance rates are the highest in the country. Disgusting. I pay around $300 a month for insurance, and that is with like 30% discounts from like the regular plan. Not fun. But I pay it every 6 months, and so it will come due in April. I already have all of the money banked. Oh, god dang, that reminds me. I need to switch that to my bank account instead of my credit card, because that's part of the discounts, and that's, if I leave it linked to my credit card, I will not get the discount like happened last time, and I flipped out because my bill was 30% higher than I expected it to be. Thankfully that got resolved, and they put the discounts back on and lowered my bill. So I don't want to go through that again. So I need to link that to my bank account. Anyway, side note, note to self. So my April payment, which will cover me through November, and by that time I'll be well into my busy season again, is paid up front, basically. And my car payment, which is about $350 a month, is paid through so today's March 18th that I'm filming this. My car is paid through June 17th. Yeah, my car is paid through June 17th. My next paycheck will be next week. I'm going to try to get maybe one more month out of that paycheck to pay through July 17th. I would love to pay it up through like November, like my car insurance, but that's a little unrealistic. And over the slow period, I will still be taking classes. I take an acting class every week. I take a webinar Q&A with different casting directors and producers every week. Those both cost money. Stuff just costs money. Thankfully, I'm in a position where I don't have to worry about rent or groceries, which is incredibly privileged. However, that could change at any time. So I'm not delusional that I don't need money. So I just need to make the most of this and really push myself to get out there and start booking work. I revamped my entire website. I just deleted it and started from scratch. I was not happy with it. So I was just like, I can't keep looking at this website that's making me so unhappy. It was kind of cringe. It was sort of immature looking, and like the more I got into the industry, I didn't even like the name that I'd created for my business, Aurora Creations. I like the name, but it doesn't speak to me. It doesn't say voiceover. So I just changed it to, my full name. I didn't want to do that at first because I'm super icked out by all of my information being online, people knowing my first and last name. But in this industry, I have to. And on my website, it has my full name, it has my direct phone number, it has my direct email. That's just part of the deal, So it is what it is. And so I ended up buying the domain of just my name, redoing my website, and I'm really happy with how my website turned out. I've got a couple of pieces of constructive criticism from people that I trust and appreciate. So I'm going to be continuing to make tweaks on that, but I just need to get to my marketing. What else? I started an acting group. It was a bunch of people from my improv class that I just reached out to and was like, hey guys, do we want to do something ourselves? Just get together and just work on stuff ourselves, because a lot of us don't have the time or the resources to go to in-person acting classes. 1, the cost, 2, the distance, and 3, the time out of our schedules for traveling, doing the classes, and getting home. And I got a really good response. And so every other week, this little core group of ours gets together and does an acting work group, peer work group. And we've got some really phenomenal people who kind of take the lead. They've got more acting experience than the rest of us. I'm a great facilitator. I'm planning on building a separate website for this kind of thing. I kind of have ideas rolling around in my head. That's my problem. I have a bunch of great ideas and then I just never execute on anything. But I'm going to. Mark my words, I'm going to. It may not be today and it may not be tomorrow, but someday. For the rest of my life, I'm going to have this website. So we have this work group, and we've gotten all mushy in the last week or two, where we all just kind of went, I love you guys. I feel so supported and I trust you guys, and it's really letting us open up and improve our acting skills, which is a very scary thing. And I'm just so happy that we've all kind of found each other. And I'm just, oh my gosh, I don't know. It's just wonderful. And let's see what else. I've not been reading much, probably to no one's surprise. I still have not finished the audiobook that I started like 2 months ago. The Good Wife of Bath, which is from a Geoffrey Chaucer poem that reimagines, like, from the woman's perspective, why she ended up with like 5 different husbands or whatever. Really great book, but I was fighting for my life mentally. I was having some insane anxiety. It was almost to the point of like intervention time again, where but this time I just kept it secret, so nobody knew I was having all of this like massive anxiety. Like, I wasn't sleeping. It was bad. I've kind of gotten through that period, at least. Still struggling to keep it all at bay. I should probably be medicated. I'm terrified of going on medication though. And also the cost of it. Like, I don't know that I would be able to afford it long term. So like, why experience peace when it's just not gonna last? You know, that's my thought. Just live in agony instead. Oh my God, I need gas. Oh crap. I wonder if there's a Costco down here. It's enough to get home. Never mind. But I do need to stop and get gas on my way home. So yeah, this is just a little yip yap update session. I would love to be vlogging more about my voiceover. I just feel like I've not done anything there yet. Not done anything, but not done anything worth talking about, I guess. And that's part of my problem. And some of my coaches and peers have kind of like gently chastised / reminded me, just because I'm new doesn't mean I'm not valid and not a great voice actor and don't have amazing potential. And just because I haven't booked that national commercial doesn't mean that I'm not putting in a lot of hard work to get there. Not having the results you want yet doesn't mean you're not putting in the effort. So I need to get that through my thick skull. There is a voiceover conference this weekend going on. It's like Thursday through, this is Tuesday, so it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, in Atlanta. I am not going. It is way too expensive, but I wish I could have gone. I would have gotten to meet so many amazing people that I know online, but I don't know in person yet. So I'm bummed about that, but I will probably be in New Orleans in October for my WovoCon, and I'm super excited about that. I kind of knew I was going to have to probably pick between Atlanta and WovoCon, and I'm like, it's WovoCon. There's no there's no comparison. And I'm thrilled that it's on my calendar now. So I'm just super excited about that. I think that's it. I just pulled up to my chiropractor, so if I can think of more stuff to yap about, then you will see me in about an hour. And I'm gonna look different, because when you're face down on that table and your face is all smooshed and that's like, you're not, why did I even put on mascara? What was I thinking? Just got out. My cheeks are all red from being on the table. My mascara is a mess, but whatever. Oh, I feel so much better. My left hip was jacked, which I was not surprised, because that's where I've been having like Charlie horses, because my muscles are getting so tight. And I have a recurring injury from a car accident. Like, that car accident was probably 10 years ago now. But you're kind of permanently weakened if you get like whiplash. They don't call it whiplash anymore. They call it impact injury, something like that. So yeah, pain. That's been, oh my God, I can tilt my head. So much better. I remembered something that I was going to talk about that I forgot to talk about, but now we can talk about. In the last 2 months, I've had to buy 4 major appliances. So it started with the burner on the stove. I only I had 5 burners. I only ever really use one. Like once in a while I'd use the others, but it was always the one closest to, the cutting board. So it's the front right one. It's the big burner. It's the most used, fine. It eventually stopped lighting. So I have a gas stove, and it's an electric sparky lighter thing that ignites the gas. I was hearing it clicking, and I'm hearing the gas come out, but it wasn't lighting anything. So anyway, we called out a repair company, and they're like, yeah, it's probably the igniter thing that needs to be replaced. But in order to do that, you have to unscrew all of the burners and be able to lift up the metal top of the stove. That didn't work because the screws were basically like fused into it. And they're like, if we do this, we can probably break the entire top, and that might be very hard to replace. So I put it off for a long time because the rest of the stove worked. So I just used other burners, and it got to the point where I'm like, this is driving me absolutely crazy. So I ended up getting a small air fryer, like a Ninja air fryer. So it's not the bucket kind. It looks more like a toaster oven. And I've absolutely loved it because I can bake stuff in there, and I don't have to heat up the entire stove to bake something. Like brownies. I've been making brownies. Oh, they're so good. Using the microwave instead of the burners. Well, then the microwave started to get very loud, concerningly so. So I had to replace the microwave. And then it finally had to, so now I didn't have to replace an air fryer, but I bought an air fryer, which I'm going to consider, it's not a major appliance. It's a pretty big appliance though. So I got an air fryer. Then I had to replace the microwave. Finally had to break down and replace the stove last month. And then last week, the dryer died. So again, we tried to get a repairman out. The dryer was so old, the part that needed to be replaced is difficult to find. It can be very expensive, and it's like, at that point, the cost of it is not worth it. So had to buy a new dryer. So going great. Little bit part of that anxiety spiral that I was talking about. All right, so now I'm on my way further south of Dearborn to go to a bank that does not like me. I'm not going to get into it. I have a savings account at this credit union and a revolving line of credit, and they did not like how I was using my revolving line of credit, even though I was using it perfectly fine. They didn't like it, and so I was like, okay, I'm just not going to use the bank anymore. Well, in order to keep everything open, I had to have, in order to open it in the first place, I had to create a savings account. So there's $1 a month service fee on the savings account, and I just got a statement, or I just checked. I don't even think I got a statement. I think I just happened to look online for something, and I'm like $9 in the hole in the savings account because whatever I had originally put in, $20 or something, what is it? It might have been $10. It's expired, and they've been taking out, charging me negative, which, I kind of just want to call them and be like, look, we don't need to do business anymore. And I don't need to be paying for something. I've never put anything in the savings account other than $20 just to open the savings account. And you don't want me, they basically told me we don't like what you're doing. We can't tell you not to because there's nothing wrong with it. We just don't like it. So I should just shut the accounts down, but I don't think I'm going to, because I still want access to that line of credit in the future if I need it for an emergency, because it's a $10,000 line of credit. So I'm gonna basically take, I don't know, $50 or something out of my bank account, and because my actual bank is also down there, there's a branch. Maybe take out $30 and just throw it into the savings account so that I'll have it for another 2 years without having to worry about it. It's so annoying. And I'm like, I don't do whatever. I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm hungry now. It's 12:30. I haven't eaten. I've had 3 cups of coffee. So I'm good on coffee, but I am getting hungry. So I think I'm gonna stop at, does everybody know what a White Castle is? Is that a Detroit thing? Is that like a Michigan? I don't think that's just Michigan. I gotta have White Castle in other places. It's a fast food chain that does sliders instead of like full-size burgers. So they're all sliders. They're steamed. So they put the burgers are square and they have holes in them in order to steam through. And so they'll have like a little slider patty. They'll put it on the grill top, but then they'll pour water and do a lid and steam the meat. It sounds gross. I'm not gonna say they're fire because they're not, but like they're fine. But what I think most people like them for is instead of chicken nuggets, they have chicken rings. They have onion. Do they have onion rings or do they have like onion sticks, almost like a bloomin' onion? I can't remember because I don't ever get their onion rings. They have mozzarella sticks. They have, but what I like from them now lately is crap. I don't want to be here. I want to be here. Okay. Like fish nuggies. So they're little fish nuggies and a little side of tartar sauce. They're really good. Their chicken rings are pretty good. They've got crinkle fries. I don't really respect any fast food restaurant that has crinkle fries, though. That's not a real French fry. Like, I'll eat it because I will eat anything in potato form, basically. Any potato in any form, basically. But crinkle fry is like bottom tier. It's not F tier because it's edible, but it's at least D tier. Yeah, so I'm gonna go down there and get some food. I'm hungry. Fish nuggets. I could just yap for the next half hour, but it would probably just be me trying to give myself therapy instead of actually going to therapy. So, I don't need to subject you guys to that. Oh, yeah. Next, you're gonna see a clip. This will be first, but then you're gonna see the video next. But this was a few days ago. I had to take Link into the vet because he's been peeing on a bed in the basement, in one of the 2 bedrooms down there. Just randomly started. And I'm thinking, okay, he's had bladder crystals before. Like maybe this is a urinary tract issue. Turns out, probably not. I have not been able to collect pee from this animal because they couldn't get any out of him at the vet's office, which is incredibly surprising to me for some reason. Yeah. It's okay, buddy. I know. It's okay. It's okay. Aww. Back at the vet's office, this boy has been peeing on the bed. I am literally covered in so much cat hair right now. They're taking him in the back. I had to get my hands wet in the sink and literally rub all of the hair that I could off of me because my black, navy shirt literally turned white. It's much better now, but oh my God. So yeah, he's been peeing on not even my bed, someone else's bed in the house. Like almost every day for 2 weeks now. Now they are at a ground level window and there has been a stray coming around, marking our house. So I have a feeling that's probably what's happening because he's getting very upset about this male stray cat, obviously. But when Link was younger, he did get bladder crystals. And so he had to go on a special prescription food was so expensive to try to break up the bladder crystals. Then he had to be on a maintenance food, which is over the counter, but still wild expensive. So I just preemptively got him the urinary tract food again, just in case. It was like $120 for 2 bags. Have I mentioned that I'm working part-time? This cat, oh my gosh. So yeah, vet appointment today. Basically, squeeze his bladder, try to get him to pee so they can check for crystals to see if that's what's causing this. I'm hoping part of me is hoping for crystals because that can be addressed versus a behavioral issue thing, which I feel like would be much harder to address. But the bad thing about bladder crystals is it takes longer. And they could not get any urine out of him. So I now have to get him a clean litter box so he can pee on these glass beads so I can suck up his pee with a syringe, put it in this cup, and then bring it all the way back to the vet, who is like a half an hour from my house, with a freeway that is currently closed for construction for 2 years. Buddy, I know this stressed you out. I know. You want to curl up in a tiny ball again? All right. I love you. Good Lord, look at these bags under my eyes. Is it age? Is it lack of sleep? Is it genetics? We don't know. Probably. It's definitely all of the above. Anyway, yeah, so, okay, we're going home. And then I have to lock him in a room and hope he pees. He's got to pee eventually, right? Where am I going to lock him in? This is stressful. Although the vet visit wasn't nearly as much as I thought. It was half of what I thought it was going to be. It actually will cost less for the visit than it will for the urinalysis, which they said I can just bring it back. And then within, they said 5 or 10 minutes. So I can actually like wait, which is good because if I have to wait, then and he needs the special food, I can get it here because you have to have a prescription for it. So I can't just like order it from Chewy. I mean, I can, but then they have to actually like ask the vet and blah, blah, blah. So we're heading home and then I actually have to stop at the pet store first to get him a new litter box because I'm not emptying. I just put in fresh litter and then bought a second litter box yesterday with the pretty kitty litter, which like when you pee on it, not you, don't pee on litter, go to the toilet. But when he pees on it, it'll change color depending on what issues or health of his urine. So I now have 2 litter boxes in the same room for them that he has not used yet. And now I need to get a 3rd litter box so he can pee on glass crystal balls instead. Okay. Also, I'm really hungry. I gotta get something to eat. So I only have one new book to show you guys that I did get. I've not started yet. But it is Uta Hagen's Respect for Acting. This is the expanded edition featuring a chapter from Uta Hagen's memoir, Sources, whatever that means. This has been recommended to me by my coach, by I'm gonna call her the leader of our peer acting group, by one of my fellow colleagues in my acting group. Basically just highly recommended from anybody who is studying the art of acting. I'm not gonna get it. I'm too lazy. Why do I have pineapple hair? What? Whatever. I'm not going to grab the other book, but I've shown you before. It is Sanford Meisner's On Acting. So I think the big difference is, I don't know, I haven't actually read both of them, but from what I'm gathering, Meisner's is like the foundations of the starting your acting journey, learning to go from not being an actor at all to starting to understand the craft of acting, and then like really diving into the deeper parts of acting is sort of what I gather. It's got some blurbs on the back. I can read them to you. Amanda Peet, have not heard of her in a while. I held on to this book for dear life throughout my 20s and still thumb through it when I need a tune-up. If I lose my car keys and I'm frantically turning my house upside down trying to find them, I look up at the heavens and hope Uda's having a good laugh. That'll probably make sense at some point. Austin Pendleton. Uda Hagen changed my life. She changed the lives of thousands and thousands of other people as well. To have Uda's books and to be able to look through them at the drop of a hat keeps me going. It keeps me inspired to keep going. That's good, because I'm going to need that. Victor Slezak? I read Respect for Acting frequently. I read. Context matters. I read Respect for Acting frequently as a remembrance of my time with Uda and to keep myself challenged and humble. It should be utilized by every acting student and professional. And finally, Victor Garber. I was extraordinarily privileged to work with Uda Hagen in Circle in the Squares. Hold on, I'm a voice actor. I can read. I was extraordinarily privileged to work with Uda Hagen in Circle in the Squares production of George Bernard Shaw's play You Never Can Tell. Her book, Respect for Acting, is a must-read for any actor at any age. She was committed to revealing the truth, and we are the beneficiaries of her brilliant observations. So, I need to finish Meisner's on acting and then graduate to this. I did finally finish, I don't think I talked about it because I haven't really filmed anything. Julia, why is my mind blanking? JBS, Julia Bianco Sheffield's. God, I really hope that's right. If not, I'll put it up. But Julia Bianco Sheffield's The Art and Business of Voice Acting for Video Games. I did finish that. Fabulous. It was so good. It was so well written. For a book that is trying to teach you stuff, and it's so conversational. I mean, it really does feel like she is just talking to you and being like, hey, look, this is kind of how it works. And I was actually privileged enough, thanks to Sam, one of my acting peers, to get into a live class. It maxed out at 20 people. I was able to get into a live class that Julia was hosting, and it was kind of like a question and answer about her book or about anything. She's a really incredible casting director, and so I learned a lot. I got to ask her a couple of questions, and it was just really fabulous. So I loved that book. I know I'm going to be referring to that. And I love the respect that she gives the video game industry as a whole, the art of video games themselves. Hi. You want to go open a window? You can go open a window. Window's obviously like right behind me, and you can probably hear my dog out there barking. The way that she loves games, and that she loves the people who create the games, and to have respect for that whole process and the art of it all, and then for the actor coming in to understand that process and that art and to treat that with respect, was a big underlying message in her book, which I really loved and appreciated, because I don't know that I'll ever get the privilege of voicing in a video game, but I am a massive video game consumer, and I love, love, love it as an art form. And I just really appreciated the way that she talked about the industry as a whole. And that she was very realistic and, talked about that there are issues and there are things that need to be changed about it, but, that there's a lot of good people who work in there, and you can have a really great time if you do pursue it. I did go for a walk when I got home. My chiropractor said that, he'd worked on a few things that might very well tighten up and kind of be uncomfortable again. So he encouraged me to move and walk around, and so I did. I went for a decently long walk, about 45 minutes, but I paced it very slowly. And then I came home, laid down on a heating pad, and I watched some Messed Up Origins by John Solo, and Annie Austin's Where Did All the Lakes and Rivers in Tears of the Kingdom Come From? So those are two really great channels. Check them out. John Solo, Messed Up Origins. origins of folklore and fairy tales and the like. And then Annie Austin is just, he kind of reminds me of BDG from Unraveled, but in the most opposite way possible. Very dry and zero energy, and I love them both so much. Brian David Gilbert from Polygon channel in his Unraveled series is one of the greatest things on the internet. You can see this boy here is just fine. Doesn't seem to be having any issues with bladder stones. I did put him back on his science diet food for urinary tract health and for bowel control, I think. And he seems to be doing a little bit better. He does have an issue where he inhales his food every morning and then tends to throw up immediately afterward. And he has not had that issue since I put him back on this food. It is $60 a bag though. This is why I can't have nice things for myself. And that's okay, because the things I have for myself are my cats. And I love them. I do get the 15-pound bags though, so I mean, it is a good amount of food. Kind of fallen off, you can probably tell. I look like I'm bulking back up, kind of, you know, not keeping trim down like I had been. And it's just because over the last few months, I kind of kept getting sick. We had COVID, and then we had a cold, and then we had something else, and then it got to be very, very busy at work, and I was just so low energy. I mean, I'm taking naps. I just took like a 2-hour nap. And I do know that if I work out, I might get more energy. But I did take a 45-minute walk and then slept for probably close to 2 hours. So I don't know, but the heat and the stretching I feel like would be incredibly beneficial. However, hot yoga is incredibly expensive. It's, even with the discounted rate at my studio, it's like $120, $110 a month for unlimited, or it's like $20, $25 a class. Well, if I go 3 times a week, I might as well just pay the $100 a month. And it's not like I don't want to, you know, it's not like I don't think it's worth it. It's just, especially going into my slow season, I simply cannot afford to do that. Because I already spend $100 a month on just one of my acting classes. So I don't know, we'll see. If you guys have any suggestions for YouTube workouts, because I haven't worked out in a couple of months, I could use something kind of easy, beginner. I tried doing Pilates at my studio, and I did it about 3 times, and I came away each time with some sort of new injury that took a few days to kind of calm down. Apparently I'm easily hurt. But I do love the idea of Pilates, so I'm gonna, if you guys have like easy beginner Pilates, I just heard about something, actually the studio that I go to has something called a gentle Pilates class. I've never been to it, I don't know what it is, but I'm intrigued by the idea of gentle, but still like working out. So if you guys know anything, drop it in the comments below. I would love to know what you guys do to keep fit. I mean, I can just incorporate more and more walking. The weather's finally getting nice enough to do that. I've been able to go for a walk like 3 times in the last 7 or so days, which is great. I think it might get cold again into the 40s. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure, but eventually it will be warm enough to actually go walking. Yeah, I don't know. That's about it. So I gotta go somewhere tonight. I have to do something about all of this. And I will see you guys later. I'm hoping as things slow down at my work and I can get more to my voiceover, I'll have more time to be a little bit more creative and do some of this, maybe some more vlogging, some more actual reading, and therefore, you know, wrap-ups and book reviews and that kind of thing. So anyway, love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and I keep forgetting, have I ever showed you guys my AirPod Pro 2 whatevers I got?